What is up, you guys? Welcome back to another one. If you are new to the channel, I am Gold Pony. This is Gold Pony Crypto. So I wanted to make this video because I actually recently left VVS Finance. I unstaked what I had there after staking with them for a few months. And reason being, there are two main DEXs pulling away right now on the Chronos chain. One of them being Marketcap Finance, of course, but the other one being kind of new to really pulling away at this point, I would say, is CyborgSwap. And so in this video, I'm going to be going over why I like CyborgSwap so much and why I think they very well may have the potential to be at least number 2 as far as DEXs go on the Chronos chain. Marketcap, of course, definitely taking that number 1 spot right now. I don't think anybody can argue with that, but I can see CyborgSwap definitely moving up the ranks quite quickly. And in this video, I'm going to be going over why. And by the way, before we get started, nothing in this video should be considered financial advice. This video is not sponsored in any way by CyborgSwap or anything like that either. So having said all of that, what do you guys say? Let's just go ahead and get started. And so first, let me touch on VVS Finance and why I kind of pulled away from that. First thing, I actually do like VVS Finance. They were incubated by Particle B. And for those of you who don't already know, Particle B, the founder of Particle B, was one of the co-founders of Crypto.com, being Gary Orr. And so really any project that goes through Particle B has a lot of promise and a lot of good things coming to it from the get-go. That's why VVS Finance and Tectonic were one of the first 2 projects on the Chronos chain to be listed on the Crypto.com centralized app. That makes sense. But also they're listed at the very top of that DeFi wallet as well as far as popular dApps go. Even though Marketcap Finance is more popular at this point, it's still not in that popular dApp section because VVS and Tectonic went through Particle B, and I think that might have a little bit to play in that. But anyways, I did like the auto VVS section where it kind of compounded your gains, because if you compare that with most of the other DEXs out there, they have manual staking, meaning you have to kind of harvest or claim those profits and then reinvest them manually. But with VVS Finance, there was an auto VVS setting where it compounded that and it automatically reinvested it for you, so you didn't have to take it out and then put it back in. So that I was definitely a fan of as far as features go with VVS. But in the end, the price action was just not there. It just kept falling and falling. And it's not just because it was falling and everything's falling, it's because there was no innovation. There was no quick progress or really progress being made at a reasonable time frame, I would say. The roadmap looks dang good, and it still looks pretty darn good if I'm being honest, but at this point, I think Marketcap Finance has done all of it on their roadmap already, and even CyborgSwap has knocked out most of it that was on their roadmap, if not all of it. So that's what I'm saying as far as investing goes, for me at least, and again, not financial advice, but I'm looking for somebody who not only does it the right way and is completely audited, but also is constantly striving to continue to make progress and innovate the space, as opposed to just moving slow and slowly grinding away, because that gets boring over time and you're going to lose investors if you do it that way, in my personal opinion at least. So anyways, why CyborgSwap? Well, let me first start with how CyborgSwap was founded. You guys might be familiar with the Marie Cyborg's NFT. That original NFT project actually acquired ChronosSwap, which was one of the very first DEXs on the Chronos chain. So Marie Cyborgs acquired ChronosSwap. They created CyborgSwap. The token symbol is CBO. Total supply of CBO is going to be 100 million, and that's going to be allocated over the time frame, or over the time period of 4 years. And more than likely, it's going to create some pretty sweet price action towards the end of that 4 years, of course. Since launch, the price of CBO so far has hit a high of 67 cents. Current market cap of CBO is 2.6 million. If you contrast that with VVS, their market cap is currently 272 million. So you can imagine the price of CBO and what that would be if it actually met that VVS market cap, which again, I'm thinking it definitely has the potential to do, seeing as how fast they are growing. And again, we'll get more into that as we go. But one of the main reasons I really like CyborgSwap is because they are an innovator. They were definitely the first on the Chronos chain to do staking with other projects besides their own. There was NFT staking, I know, with Marketcap. You can stake, of course, your Marketcap within their DEX, and you can earn upon that. You can also actually use their NFTs for yield farming, which only 2 DEXs on Chronos chain are doing right now that I'm aware of, which is Marketcap Finance and CyborgSwap with their new Meta Cyborgs. You can use those for up to a 5% boost on any particular yield farm that they have. But again, where they really innovated and changed things was allowing other projects to be able to offer NFT staking for those other projects within their DEX. So now if you were to go to CyborgSwap within the Crypto.com DeFi wallet is the way I access it, but if you were to go to CyborgSwap, you will see all of the different projects you can stake, because it is not simply their own NFTs. There's Bushy Crow, there's Chronos Eyes 2, there's all types of other NFT projects that are stakeable within CyborgSwap that earns you CNFT, which brings me into my next point. That CNFT has been taking off pretty darn good so far. And actually, within the next week or so, CyborgSwap has said they're going to be announcing a new NFT drop by them, which is going to be purchased solely using CNFT, which again should really jack up the price action, as you can imagine, if everyone is required to use CNFT to purchase this next set of NFTs coming out. And typically with CyborgSwap NFTs, they usually sell out pretty darn quickly, and for good reason. If you look at Maurice Cyborg's NFT, they're now up to a floor price of almost 1,000 Crow at this point. Definitely, I think it's like 930 at this point. So their NFTs always appreciate in value, and that's due in part because of the massive utility, whether it be boosting in yield farms or just simply staking to earn CNFT. And so just for an example, I staked my Maurice Cyborg for the first month that they had it. I earned 64 CNFT, which approximately came out to be a little over 70 Crow if I were to transfer that, because the price of CNFT was a little over the price of Crow at that given time, which is pretty cool. And if I remember correctly, CNFT has hit a high of approximately 60 cents, I believe, at this point. And so they have definitely innovated quite a bit. A lot of things that other DEXs aren't doing, like the yield farming thing. Only Mad Meerkat is doing that besides CyborgSwap right now, at least. But of course, they do have the traditional stuff as well. If you look all the way to the left, I'll put some of these pictures on the screen here. You got the swap feature, meaning you could swap Crow for CBO if you wanted to. And then you could stake their token, because they of course have that as well for, I believe, up to 300% at this point, which is definitely very impressive. You also have a bunch of different farming options, yield farming, where you can earn up to 600 to 700% APR right now, I believe. They of course also have their own launch pad, and of course there's that NFT staking section then as well. And so again, the reason I like them so much, they're constantly pushing out new features. They are constantly pushing out new NFT collections, which is great. They're also constantly vetting and allowing new projects to be able to be staked on their particular platform as far as other NFT projects go. And of course, there'll be new tokens added to their farms in the future as time goes on as well. But my most favorite part, in the Discord, they actually had an AMA, or Ask Me Anything, the other day, and I was in there and I asked the one question that literally nobody else had asked. Everyone was talking about NFTs, which makes sense because they're the first NFT-oriented DEX on Chronos. But the question I asked was, when's the centralized listing for CBO? Because I know it's a new token, but still, that's always my first train of thought, because if you can get that listed on a centralized exchange, like VVS Finance did, like Tectonic did, you can imagine the liquidity that would flow into CyborgSwap. So obviously, that was a question I had to ask, and you know what my response was? I'll put it on the screen here. It was a smiley face from their team. So I can imagine that probably means they're not allowed to tell me about it, but it probably means they're working on it, or they have already applied to several different centralized exchanges. We can only assume at this point, but I like the smiley face. I think that's a good thing. They didn't put a frowny face, because then it probably would have meant that they're not doing it, but I don't know. In the end, the rate of innovation was rapidly outpacing VVS Finance, so I thought it only makes sense to get out of VVS Finance and, if anything, get into CBO, because CBO has a lot more upside potential with it having such a low market cap at this point. If they get a centralized listing, that would be insane. And also their NFT projects that they keep coming out with over and over again with excellent staking. I'm earning 70 Crow a month just staking Maurice Cyborgs. That is what I'm talking about. That gives you passive income that I was not getting at VVS Finance. That's all I'm saying. But anyways, be sure to follow them on Twitter and Discord. I'll put their information in the description box below. And that is about it for this one, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to follow me on social media for different cryptocurrency updates. Be sure to hit the subscribe and the bell notification button if you're into Crypto.com, Crow, and Chronos. That is what we do here on this channel after all. Do appreciate you guys watching more than you know, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Stay gold.